ইউটিউবে যতবার ইচ্ছে শুনতে পারো। Okay, so my topic today is about lakes, how their origin and the different types of lakes. And then, if there is time, we will talk about lake morphometry. So I'll start presenting. So, what is? So the topic today, which we will be talking, is origin and classification of lakes. So how do you define lakes? So lakes are basically, they are a large body of water. First thing, they are a large body of water, natural water, naturally occurring water, collected in a depression. That means in a hole or something. It's a naturally occurring water collecting in a depression or a hole. It differs from a pond. It differs from the pond in the characteristic that it is large in size. There is presence of biotic life. Even ponds also have a biotic life, but lakes have got a extensive amount of biotic life present. So and there is a inside a pond or a lake, you have a fantastic ecosystem which exists. Now there is a difference between what is a reservoir and lake. Lake and reservoir are essentially same. But reservoir is man-made, মানুষের তৈরি. Another definition of lake is, or another factor of lake is, it is inland, closed, body of water. It is an inland closed body of water, and it is not part of the ocean. They can be fresh water, they can be salt water, that is not important. They are basically closed, inland, natural deep large body of water with biotic life. So this is the definition of lakes. Next, these lakes, they occupy 1.8% of the Earth's surface. That is about 280,000 cubic kilometer cube of water exists on the Earth's surface in the form of lakes, and that is only 0.19% of the total water on Earth. Lakes, they may have small streams which feed water and small streams which remove water. So levels of water in lakes are also affected by rainfall that increases the levels of water, and you have evaporation and use, they decrease the levels of water. Now one question they ask, what is the land of 1,000 lakes? And that is Finland. Finland, Norway, Finland, Sweden, or Finland, it's a land of thousands lakes. They have got 1,87,888 lakes present in that small area. So how are lake forms or lake basins formed? Formation of lakes or lake basins. So the formation depends on endogenous geological processes. কি টেকটনিজম, মানে নিচে the tectonic plates move about, and volcanism volcano থেকে lake form হয়ে গেল, and other activities like exogenous activities like landslide, ধস নেমে বেরিয়ে গেল, landslides, glaciation, solution, they dissolve, materials dissolve because of certain water and a hole is formed. And the action of river which dries up, and wind action. These are the certain geological things by which lakes are formed. There are some lakes which lie above sea level. Some lakes lie below sea level. The next thing which we know, what is limnology? So limnology studies the formation of lakes, their physico-chemical conditions and their biotic life. So limnology studies the formation of lakes, their physico-chemical condition, physical and chemical condition, like shape, etc., kotota depth, these are all physical conditions, and what are the salts and minerals present inside, that is chemical conditions, and their biotic life. Biotic life, they are studied, all these are studied under limnology. So it is also the scientific study, logi mane logos, scientific study of inland water both saline and fresh. Like lakes, ponds, rivers, natural as well as man-made. And of course the hydrological aspects also, like evaporation and how the water moves up and down during the summers and winters. One more question, what are the characteristic features of lakes? Each lake is characterized by its basin. What is the lake basin? Lake basin, it is the depression or the hole which is holding the water. Then it is also characterized by its you characterize it by how deep the lake is, its maximum depth of water. It is also characterized by কত জল আছে, its volume of water. Oh, this lake has got so much volume of water. Then it is also characterized by its surface area. It is also characterized by rate of inflow and outflow of water. কত জল ভেতরে ঢুকছে, কত জল বেরোচ্ছে. It is also characterized by the quality of water. জলটা ভালো কি খারাপ. It is also characterized by total dissolved loads of nutrients and sediments. Total dissolved load of nutrients and sediments. How much nutrients and sediments are present. It is also defined by biotic species and their densities. কত রকম species পাওয়া যায়. The next question which comes, what is a watershed of a lake? So a lake's watershed refers to the catchment zone. কতটা area. Catchment zone means the zone which you can capture or by a camera or something. So for example, you cannot capture the amount of water which is evaporated away. So the land use and land cover of the catchment zone, they have a great role to play in the pollutant load of the lakes. So the more of the catchment zone, the chances that there is less pollution. So now let us go to the classification of lakes. How do you do this? So the simplest classification of a lake is whether the lake is big lake or small lake. Very easy, haha, nothing great. So there are several types and categories of lakes in the world. So and these lakes can be classified on the basis of, so A হচ্ছে on the basis of origin. Lakes can be classified on the basis of origin. They can be classified on the basis of trophic level. You know what a trophic level is. Producer, consumer, first consumer, second consumer. You can classify lakes on that basis. You can classify lakes on the basis of mixing of water. You can classify lakes on the basis of nature of inflow and outflow. So, based on origin, the lakes can be classified into tectonic lakes. So, it can be tectonic lakes. They can be lakes formed due to landslides. It can be salt lakes. Oxbow lakes. Crater lakes. Sinkhole lakes. Lakes formed due to erosion. Kettle Lake. সব পড়তে হবে কিন্তু। Artificial lake. FJORD, Fjord Lake. HIJ. এবারে কি এরা what are these? Let's go for tectonic lakes. Let's see take a picture from the internet of what a tectonic lake is. So this is a tectonic lake. So tectonic lakes are formed due to tectonic uplift of a mountain range. Tectonic lakes are formed due to tectonic uplift of a mountain range. So essentially what happened was, it was a flat land over here. Then because of tectonic or movement of land plates, these mountains started to rise over here from the surroundings. These mountains started to rise. Result was that it was a flat land. Then suddenly some tectonic action took place and mountains arised and a depression formed and the water accumulated and a lake was formed. So this is a tectonic lake. Example are the Great Lakes of North America. They were formed from tectonic action. The next are lakes formed due to landslides. Landslide or subsidence. Suddenly there is a subsidence taking place and the land depresses and water accumulates over here. So this is example are the Sun Lakes of Washington. Then we have the Salt Lakes. Salt lakes are formed when there is no natural outlet of water. So there was a lake exists which had no natural outlet. And the water evaporated. এইখানে initial level ছিল, the new level becomes this. So the water level came down. So this region has got more salt present. These are the salt lakes. Then example is the Great Salt Lake, Dead Sea. Dead Sea is the biggest example is Dead Sea. Best example of a salt lake. Next we come across, let us talk about Oxbow Lake. Hello? Huh? So Dead Seas are the best example of a salt lake. So after that we go to the Oxbow Lake. Oxbow lakes are small crescent shaped lakes. They are small crescent shaped lakes formed along the meandering river courses. Let's look at a picture from the internet. So when the river is in its end course, say for example, let's draw it in blue. The river is flowing like this. When it comes towards the end, it starts to form lake meanders. This is meandering of a river. It moves this right, left. This is called meandering. So while it's about to reach the sea, then suddenly it happens that this river এই দুটো জায়গা মিশে গেল। আবার এটা মিশে গেল। Then suddenly it can become like this, that this goes on like this, and over here you find one lake like this, and Oxbow Lake, and another lake like this. So this is an Oxbow Lake. As you can see, this in this picture over here, this is an Oxbow Lake which has formed. Example, the Crater Lake in Oregon. Oregon is an example. Sorry, this is an example of Crater Lake. You have, let's see an example of Oxbow Lake. For the Mississippi River. Meandering.
স্যার
হ্যাঁ
এটাকে বাংলায় বলে না হর্ষকুরাকৃতি হ্রদ ওইটা?
হ্যাঁ 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 হর্ষু, হ্যাঁ অক্সবো লেককে হর্ষু লেকও বলে। Then you have the crater lakes. Crater lakes are formed due to volcanic craters. Are formed volcanic craters. Suddenly hush hush volcano starts place, and then after a volcanic crater a depression forms over here, and after certain time a lake is formed. Oh, the crater lake in Oregon. Then we have the sinkhole. Sinkhole lakes. This subsidence takes place. Suddenly it sinks. The land sinks. So they as such lakes come into existence as a result of sinkhole activity. Then lakes are formed as a result of erosion. Then we have glacial lakes. একে কেটল লেক বলে। They are formed by melting of glaciers. এই যে বরফ জমে রয়েছে গ্লেশিয়ার, suddenly this glacier they melt and a lake is formed. That is also another term used is Fjord Lake. Let's see a picture of Fjord Lake. Let's have a look at this lake. An interesting thing in this lake which you find is, if we draw this lake, first there was a mountain range which went on like this straight. There was a glacier over here. Glacier ice. This glacier ice, they melt. And a lake is formed. And say if this is the sea level, this is even below the sea level. এই যে ছবিটা দেখছো মাঝখানে, this lake which is formed here, this is below sea level. And these are two mountain ranges on the side. This is a fjord lake. So in the next day we will talk about, classified about the different lakes. On the basis of trophic levels, oligotrophic lake and so-called all these lot of activities, less activities, all these things are, these things we are going to study. Acha. Do you people have got any questions? একটু questions আছে তোমাদের? কোয়েশ্চেন আছে কিছু অরিত্রী?
না স্যার, ওই যে স্ট্রিমের জায়গাটা বললেন না, ওখানে তো দু রকম স্ট্রিম আছে, মানে যেটা এসে পড়ে লেকেতে আর যেটা লেক থেকে তৈরি হয়,
লেক
এই
থেকে
রকম
তো,
তো?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, ইনফ্লো অ্যান্ড আউটফ্লো, ওটার বেসিসেও ইউ ক্যান ক্লাসিফাই লেকস। ইটস আ ডিফারেন্ট টাইপ অফ ক্লাসিফিকেশন।
ওকে স্যার।
ঠিক আছে, তাহলে আমি পরের দিন আমরা বাকি লেক আর ক্লাসিফিকেশন গুলো শেষ করে দেবো।
স্যার ওই ফর্ডটা পর্যন্ত করালেন তো?
হ্যাঁ, ফর্ড অবধি করালাম, রেকর্ড করা আছে, তুমি যা কেটে গেছে তুমি পেয়ে যাবে, আমি দিয়ে দিচ্ছি। ঠিক আছে?
আচ্ছা স্যার, ঠিক আছে,
ঠিক আছে, কোনো অসুবিধাই নেই, মানে রেকর্ডিংটা আছে, দেখে নিও, যে যে জায়গাগুলো মিস হয়ে গেছে পেয়ে যাবে। মানে আমাদের তো